I think people have to commit themselves not to forget is what Donald Trump did during the 187 minutes. So Donald Trump had mobilized this mob. He knew they were armed. He fed them with lies about the election. He sent them to the Capitol armed. And then he gets back to the White House. And he gets back to the White House within 15 minutes of walking off stage at the Ellipse. He's told by a White House employee, there's a riot at the Capitol. So he knows when he walks back into the Oval Office, there's violence at the Capitol. Then he goes into his dining room and he turns on the television and he watches the violence at the Capitol. Go watch the video of what was happening on the west front of the Capitol, the police officers being beaten viciously by people carrying Trump flags, with Trump flags. He watched people assault our Capitol in his name. He sat there as members of his family, as members of his staff, pleaded with him, tell the mob to stop. They pleaded with him, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't tell the mob to stop. He instead sent out a tweet saying Mike Pence doesn't have the courage to do what needed to be done. He poured gasoline on the fire of the attack. He was given a note at one point that said a civilian had been shot at the entrance to the House chamber. And he put the note down on the dining room table and he still refused to act. So he was watching people be beaten. He was watching the most important building in our democracy be assaulted by a mob that he had mobilized. His vice president had to be evacuated for his own safety. People are pleading with him. He could have walked, I mean, you know this, Peter, he could have walked a few feet down the hall to the White House briefing room where there is a camera on all the time. He could have walked down the hall and said, go home, stop, leave the Capitol. And he wouldn't do it. And the pure depravity of an individual watching this violent assault that he's instigated, watching people in his name assault our democracy, attack police officers, and he refuses for over 3 hours to tell the mob to leave, that's a man who can never again be entrusted with power of any kind.